adult age gap relationships. A couple of you have serious issues with adult age gap relationships, it seems. Or maybe not, actually. Hold on.
I literally, I was iffy about that one.
I'm assuming.
Milena
I feel like we're...
and Laura, you guys object to age gap relationships. The example provided, a 30-year-old dating a 19-year-old. Objections? Object. I object, Your Honor.
I mean, obviously it's legal, but I think the maturity level is very different. I can't think of any scenario where like a 19-year-old has the same maturity level and life experience as a 30-year-old.
Word. That's, yeah.
What were you pointing at?
Wait, is Andrew, somebody told me his stream? Oh, no. Somebody said your stream was messed up, but I think it's fine. I'm sorry. So you're saying like the maturity levels or like the life experience, it's different?
Both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I said that only from a perspective of I've been there, and I would just give anyone the advice not to do that.
Yeah, they're in two different life arenas. A 19-year-old is not in the same arena in life as a 30-year-old man.
But you can't put that in perspective, because some people at young ages do have an older, more of a mature mindset. So which literally just states for them to like older people.
Sure.
Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like I thought that was me,
but
then
older
now
men,
that
right?
now that I'm
Simply
older.
why? Because they're mature.
Yeah.
And everything that goes into an older man is maturity.
But is he really mature if he's getting with people that young?
Yes, but some people, you can't not blame it for some.
But I have
girls like older men. Some guys like younger girls. Some women like younger men. It doesn't just justify it just as a man's perspective, and then like how people just can't be with someone older than them when there's scenarios when younger people like being with older people and older people like being with younger people on both sides, men and women.
Agree with that. I just think 19's too young.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm at
If
too.
it was like 21, I wouldn't say much about it.
Those years are a big difference.
Do you think we should like raise the voting age for women since they can't like consent to have sex with men, adult men?
The first thing I said is that it's legal.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I missed that part then.
I just don't think it's like
right.
Yeah, I think the maturity levels.
It's totally just a preference thing. Sure, I mean, I would probably. It's weird, but people do it, and as long as no one's getting hurt, it's not for me. I wouldn't date a 30-year-old. I feel like a majority of 19-year-olds wouldn't date a 30-year-old, but whatever. I don't care.
I'm 30
I don't care.
and I don't want to date a 50-year-old.
I would never date a 19-year-old. I can't imagine.
I mean, you were in an age gap. You were dating a younger guy.
He was 25, not 19.
Yeah, okay. It's not. That's not as much of a.
But younger than that would be pushing it.
When I was 19, personally. I was seeing like 45-year-olds, and at the time that was definitely my type. I loved like DILF-looking guys, like silver foxes and stuff like that. But now that I'm like 26, I realized that like most of the time that wasn't really like it personally. It just was like, why? Like that's actually weird.
I think no matter the gender, I think it's weird of the older person.
Yeah, even the whole Kardashians, they're all like 40 something, and they're all dating like 20-year-olds. I know that's not that big of a difference, but it's like it's such an interesting concept.
But like for me, like if I was 19, would I go for an older man? Probably. I would probably have done it simply just because older men are attractive based on what they know
and their access to resources.
Okay. I honestly would do it.
There you go.
If I was 19.
Yeah.
But I guess I am seeing a 45-year-old right now.
When you were 19.
Huh?
What would be like the age limit of the guy when you're 19?
It depends if I was attracted to them. I definitely would. Like if I was like, damn.
If you found them
Daddy.
attractive, what would the age limit?
But the attractiveness is what matters.
Do you think there's any age where it does get weird?
That's what matters.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, like there is definitely an age gap where it does get weird. Like maybe like 50. 60
and 19.
Like if you have wrinkles on you and you like you don't like you an old man like
my only option right now is a 50-year-old, but he got wrinkles and he's not attractive, but he keeps on saying he's a millionaire, and I'm like, I don't want to, so it's like, why would I do that? But then again, I'm broke, so I got to think about it.
I'm 19 and I feel weird about talking to
I have to consider it.
Me with my 50-year-old right now.
But yeah, no, I honestly, like I would say
I get it. I used to be broke.
He's worth it, so that's why.
No,
I'm 19 and I feel weird about like 22. Like, I mean, probably, but like, I feel weird talking. Like, it's just weird. It's like a life experience difference. Like, it's just weird.
Yeah. Also, too,
and I feel like at my age, like, it feels a lot bigger than it would if I was older.
Yeah.
I don't date younger than 25 at 22.
How about you, Andrew? Yeah. How do you feel about the topic?
Yeah. Also, in your case, it's like you can't drink legally too.
Exactly.
So it's
it's weird.
Yeah,
like, I'm not going to be going out.
That makes
I
such a difference.
some technical difficulty on my end. I just got it sorted out. What were you guys talking about?
We're talking about the age gap from 19 to, was it 40?
30.
Like, how do you, 30. How do you feel about that?
Yeah,
like,
I've never heard a compelling moral argument against it ever.
Against it.
like,
I think I just don't care what other
I think
people
physical
do.
attraction.
Andrew, you're with
attraction matters.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I think if you're attracted to the 40 or the 50-year-old, then it wouldn't matter. But if you're not attracted to them, then you get the
hang on.
ick.
What was the question that was asked?
I was like, so you're with it? Like you think it's fine, or you're against it?
Yeah, I've never heard a good compelling argument against it ever.
Yeah. So.
I agree that it should be legal. I think it's weird though.
Like,
Well, I get it. So the number one
I think it's
argument
weird
from
that
women.
you date white men.
Yeah, the number one argument from women on this is that it gives them the ick. It gives me
Preferences.
ick. It's icky. But that's not an argument. It's just an emotional state.
I think
Never
the ick
actually
is
heard it.
also biological.
Hang on. We'll get to you in just a second, I promise. But yeah, I've never actually heard a good, compelling argument against an age gap relationship. So here's a good example of this. If there was some 21-year-old woman that you knew who was madly in love with a 41-year-old man and told you he's the one and I just adore him and he treats me great, would any of you say a damn word to her about that?
No.
Yeah. And that's the
I would have my opinions. I wouldn't say it though.
Exactly.
But
Because it's not my life.
What would be your opinions?
Yeah, right. So then the idea here is like it just gives you the ick, but you don't see any moral issue with it, or you would say
It's
something
that I
about it.
think
Now she was like,
the older person does
she
it
can't
because
do it,
they
she went-
can't. Sorry, I interrupted you.
And what if
No,
the
no,
ick is a biological response? Because the person that is interested in me, he looks older, and I want to have kids. So why would I have kids with someone that looks older? I feel like they're not gonna give me the best kids.
Honestly, you talk about this man quite a bit. I think you should go for him.
Yeah, well, it's just a matter of interest. So, the interest in priorities. So, men tend to be mostly attracted to younger women, and this is in all age groups that we see who are asked about this. It's not that they're not attracted to women who are not younger than them, because they are. It's just that when universally asked what is the most attractive age group, it's usually women who are in their 20s.
Yeah, and same goes for women. Like that's why we would have the word cougar. Come on now.
No. Women tend to view attraction differently. They tend to view it around about 5 years or so of their age, universally reported. Whereas men, I'm just telling you what's reported. You can disagree with it. I'm just telling you what people say. So, but yeah, universally, they think attractive women. They're almost all universally attracted to women in their 20s. This makes sense, though, because if you think about it from a biological basis, it's mostly women in their 20s who can have children, right? They have the highest fertility rate. So if that's the case, if the idea of evolution is true and reproduction is the primary edict, then of course the attraction for men is going to be to younger women, right? Because they can reproduce. That makes sense.
So
women,
if a woman,
though, they don't prioritize the same thing. They often prioritize resources over looks. This is why you see tons and tons of really, really ugly dudes with really, really hot chicks. And the kind of presupposition is, well, that dude's obviously rich. And most of the time, you're right. He is rich. And that's why they're with him.
So if a woman is in her 30s, do you think she should just be with someone that wants to be with her, even if she's not attracted to them?
What does this have to do with age? I'm sorry, this has nothing to do with age gap. Unless you can refine your question to relate it to the topic.
Well, there is an age gap within the dynamic.
What?
Forget about it. It's okay.
No.
I don't need advice. It's all
But
good.
I would never date a guy I'm not attracted to. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't. And I'm in my 30s. I can't.
It's the idea of what's
It has to do with the age gap.
So, okay, repeat your question.
So women can find things and find qualities in men which are attractive, which are external looks. So let's say the guy's like a 5 or a 4, right? And he's old like me or something like this. Maybe you could compensate for the fact that he's kind of ugly with the fact that he's also really rich, right? You can compensate for these facts. That's depending on the type of woman. It depends on what they're looking at for attraction. Whereas men, it's basically just one thing. If you're physically hot, they really just don't give a shit about much else. It's pretty simple, right? Men are very easy in that regard. They'll really put up with an awful lot of horrible shit from women just because they're hot. Like, that's just the truth.
That's very true.